Hello and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Really, we're going to be playing. Well, I'm going to be playing Banished, and it's a new game. It was out on the 19th of this month, so February 2014. Made by one guy, under Shining Rock Software, it's called. So yeah, I'll give you a little look at what's going on. Here are the tutorials. There's getting started, survival, food production, trade, but if you're like me and you just like to get stuck in straight away, then we'll just ignore them. There's also achievements, which, yeah, well, as you can see I've done a few already, but I have played quite a number of hours on this game so far. So yeah, I do know what I'm doing, so if you're wondering. So yeah, let's start a new place. No. Well, let's find a new good name. Sekez Townville. It's a good name. Let's go with that. For some reason I like to have code with 9 in them for some reason. So let's go with, there's either valleys or mountains. So we'll go with valleys just to start off with. Train size, that's kind of self-explanatory. Yeah, climate mild, doesn't snow very much. Fair, it does. Harsh, it snows most of the time and it's very cold. So we'll start with fair. Disasters, tornadoes, all that. Starting positions, easy, you start off with a lot of families and lots of food. Medium, you start off with some. Hard, you start off with very little family or few families and no seeds or crops to start off with. So we're going to start on medium because it enables you to see pretty much everything that you can do in the game straight away, right off the bat. Although later on in the series I might add a couple of videos to show the hard and show you how to get started on it, because it is quite tricky to get started straight away. I must warn you, my computer is pretty awful. It can run this, but while recording it's quite laggy. I've tested quite a lot with it and trying to get the best quality slash, well, visibility that you can see. And the best I've come up with so far is that if I put it on the max speed in terms of citizens running around doing everything, it looks like normal gameplay speed. So really just keep in mind that if you actually speed it up in real life, it will go a lot faster than it is on this. Right then, let's show you what's going on. This is the speed option, as I said before. As you can see, it's going extremely slowly despite being on ×2. I'll pause it just to show you what to do, really. This is the map. Zoom out, scroll, everything's kind of standard. As I said, it's made by one person. It's amazing how actually well it's done. As you can see, as I'm showing with the mouse, these are the houses. There's different ones. Roads. And then there's the storage items, so barn, there's the well, the light, bookstore, schoolhouse, medical centre, town centre, chapel, and cemetery. I'll describe you all of them later, what happens with them and stuff. Food items, so fields, pastures, orchards, fishing, wood cutting, forestry, all that stuff. But we'll show you what happens as we go along later. They come quite important later on, but for now I'll just show you the basics on what goes on, and hopefully you'll learn as you're going along from seeing what I'm doing. This is how you harvest items, basically. If you click and then drag across the screen, you'll be able to harvest stuff. So right now we're going to build a forester's lodge, which harvests logs, basically, a major resource for building. You see, if you see the yellow ring basically around, that is where basically logs can be harvested, as you can see. And yeah, and they'll regrow and harvest the most mature trees. As you can see, I'm adding 2 builders, which is basically I need to build it first. Gatherer's hut gathers basic food from the forest, berries, roots, all that. again, within the circumference of the yellow zone is where food's going to be gathered from. It's a good idea to place them next to the forester's place, because the most food is gathered from within healthy forests. We're going to build a wooden house next to them. Actually, we'll be because if you put houses next to where they live, well, houses next to where they work, it takes less time to get to and from work, so they work more efficiently and quicker. There we go. And this is about probably most like ×2 speed on normal, but because of the lag on my computer, we'll pull up to ×10 to show you. Now, as I did before, I clicked +2 to get more builders, as I just did just there. I limited the amount of builders in that building to 1, which means only 1 builder will actually build that house. Build another house now, which means we can put two workers per, or 2 in the forest and 2 in the gathering. You start off with, I think it's 16 or 18 villagers, I forget, on medium, so you do have quite a large workforce. As you can see by all the house icons above them, it means they don't actually have a house to live in, which you kind of want to get them into a house pretty quickly, or otherwise they're just going to starve and freeze to death when winter comes. When you watch Game of Thrones, winter is coming is a good phrase to use for this game often, because when winter comes it hits very hard, and you're unlucky if you start a game with winter coming early on. And I've just, as you've just seen, I've placed down a hunter's hut, which gathers or hunts deer, and I'm placing down a herbalist now, which gathers herbs to basically help medicate your citizens, I suppose, but it keeps them healthy and all that. And I've only just learned that your citizens' healthiness is, it's attested by the amount of herbs they have or their diet. So if your citizens only eat venison, then they're going to become very unhealthy. So you want to have as many different food types in the game as possible, to keep your citizens as healthy as possible. Although, yeah, it will take until later on in the game to get a number of them, a number of different foods. As you can see, when the foundations seem to be laying about as they have done on these houses, it shows that all the resources on them have been put down by the villagers. As you can see, one of the houses is half built at the moment. I'm just going to try and change some of the settings. No. Okay. I'm not even going to try and change some of these. That means nothing to me, and so does that. So let's just keep it that. We'll just have to go on side. Right. So foundations, as you can see, they're being built. Blah, 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 blah. I think it's the forestry, or the forest and the houses are being built now, and the gatherer's hut now. So labourers, as if they're not ascribed to certain roles, they will automatically just harvest selected resource you selected to gather, and also they'll put down resources at the foundations of what you're trying to build before the builders can build it, which basically makes the life of your builders a lot quicker and easier. So right, we'll put down a blacksmith and a tailor nearby. You want them as near as possible to your storage place as well as your citizens' houses, so that your citizens can quickly get tools and clothes, which, well, clothes are very important for winter. Again, I just put down a woodcutters, which drives fuel for when it's winter. Helps them when they're cold. What I'm doing now is that I am selecting resources for the labourers to gather. So this is iron. I'm going to no, I'm going to select the wood. I think they need wood more. So what I'm doing is drag it across, and then hopefully at some point they'll gather those trees, turn into logs, and help them build. Right. So it's just a case of waiting for them to actually finish now. Normally at this point I would speed it up, but I can't speed up anymore. Right, this is a citizen. It shows them it's everything about them, so inventory. So at the moment they're just going along. It shows they don't have a house at the moment because they don't know houses built. Right. This is an outline of basically your town. It shows the amount of logs, the amount of stone, the amount of iron. That shows how many people do not have houses. I mean, that is very good because it shows if people are hungry, cold, or there's infestation. It shows clothes, food. So we've got a fair amount of food stored at the moment, but it will very quickly run out because we don't have a food source until the gatherer's hut is built. Tools, which help them gather quickly. And yeah, ooh, down here, an important notice, shows we're lacking in something. It's most likely food or logs. Yep, logs. So we need to gather some logs quickly. As you can see, we only have one in the store pile, which, seeing as we need about a couple of hundred to finish building, is not very good. As you know, I selected those trees to gather earlier, however it's a good way to show adding priorities. So that the arrow in the what I'm going to click now is basically increases the priority of a task. So again, like gathering, you click and drag, and that will mean that your labourers will hopefully go straight to that job to chop the trees down instead of all the other jobs I've sent them to do. They'll put that first on top of their priorities. So yeah, although they don't seem to be coming along, they will do eventually. Again, I would speed it up, but I can't. Right, so let's see how they're doing. They seem to kind of be doing everything half and not finishing anything. We've got a house now, I suppose, and we should have a steady supply of logs coming in from the forestry. We will see what happens in a minute. But well, right now I'll show you what we do. These are roads. These are dirt roads anyway. They don't require any resource. They just need your labourers. The stone roads, which require a stone per bit, which is quite a lot. You only want to use it later on. Wooden bridge, you go across rivers, makes them able to walk. And tunnels, which enables you to go through hills, mountains. We're going to build a dirt road at the moment because we don't have enough stone. Go. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I like to actually have roads connecting most places. As you can see, the gatherer's hut has just been built, so after we finish this road, we will put some people in it. Oh, come on. There we go. No. Right, there we go. Connect everything up. There we go. So, add 2 gatherers. No, 3. We'll do. Enable larger food supply anyway. So right then, let's see how they're doing. As you can see, the labourers are actually harvesting the trees now. So we should have quite a lot of trees coming in. The 4-year-old idling. Betonia. A male called Betonia. It's a bit of a strange name. Sorry if anyone's actually called Betonia. But not meaning to insult. Right then, how's building coming on? Hunting cabin, which is very important, is coming underway. Houses are done, although many people are still homeless, so I should probably build some more homes. Let's build one there, because it's nearby the blacksmith, so the blacksmith will live there eventually when the blacksmith is built. And we'll leave it there for now. Seems we've got quite a lot to still build. I think next I'll build a house next to the woodcutter I've already put. But yeah. Right, oh, I forgot to say, what did I just click for that? Oh, that one. Right. There we go. This shows the resource limits as said, so when 200 logs have been basically got from the forestry, it'll stop producing logs, same as stone, iron, fuel. Yeah, so food, which is on 5,000 at the moment, is quite a lot for surplus for about 20 people. However, when you get about 50, 100, 5,000 will run out quite quickly if you're having quite an early winter or having a plague or something. So you want to keep the food relatively high. Same with fuel. Fuel runs out very quickly as well. But yeah. Right, what now? Ooh, this shows the path. We'll come back to it in a later episode, but it's quite important for showing how far your citizens have to travel to get from place to place. I didn't realise there was a house there. It's going all over the place. Right, we're going to build a field. We don't have enough citizens to really work the field at the moment, but we'll build one just in case, just to show you what happens. Right, at the moment there's 2 trees on top of it, so the field can't work, so we'll get some labourers to harvest the trees. Not even trees, they're diddy trees, but still. Right, ooh, hunting thing's done. We'll add 1 to that. Because we have a limited amount of people. I think we've got about 6 people left we could add jobs to. And right, chopping down the trees, that's all done. Right, here we go. This is a field. And there's a deer eating some stones in the path. Right, we can either have wheat or cabbages. We'll probably do wheat early on. There is a mod which coming out. I know there's not many mods for this recently, but there's meant to be one coming out for flour, which will be interesting. Well, that icon there means it's not being worked at the moment. Because we don't have enough labourers, we can't really work it. Because we need at least 3, and we still need 1 each for the tailor and the blacksmith. Oh, and 1 for the woodcutter. So we've only got 4 people spare. 3 now because of the herbals. Forgot about that. It's very easy to forget about things on this game, so you have to kind of keep aware of what's going on. Yeah. As I said, the tailor and the blacksmith can only have 1 person each. The woodcutter only has 1. So, despite saying 3, that's for builders. So don't get confused early on. I did, and I was very confused when I tried. I added 3 blacksmiths, and there was only 1 blacksmith, and people were getting very confused with what was going on. Right, we're very near a river, which is very good for fishing and trade. Yeah, you get more food from trade. You can get different seeds, so you can add different ones. So you can get peppers or beans and whatever. And I'll show you. Right, here's no, that one. This one. This is the trading post. You put that down. It has to go partly in the river, like so. There we go. I won't put. Well, I will place it down now, but I'll pause it so that it's not being built until later on in the game because it requires quite a lot of resource. So pause is that button there. Just click it, and it'll come up with an icon, which the pause icon. No one will do anything. It'll just be left alone for now. So yeah, rivers are useful for fishing and trade, and you get across them using bridges, quite standard stuff. Gatherer. So 3 people working here, 5,000 food. This icon, it shows you how much they've gathered last season. It's quite a good indicator to see whether it's actually worth keeping the building going, whether to limit the amount of people working there. So at the moment it's their first season, so they've got about 400, and that is awful. 320, 350. There's 400. So yeah, it does go up quite quickly. You want to expect around 1,500 per gatherer per season. Herbalists 12. They don't gather nearly as much, but then as the gatherers, but then you don't really need as much. As you can see, herbs we have 0, but it will go up eventually. Food we still have 900, so it is going down. Herbs, food, and clothes help indicate the hearts. The hearts indicate the health of the people. So you want to keep that relatively high, preferably above 4 hearts. Same with happiness, which are the stars. Right then. One house is still being built. People seem to be going here, there and everywhere. Right, we'll build a stockpile there. Right. You need to think about 100 different things at some of the start. See how many logs being built. Logs being gathered. Right, so we'll finish off building this stone path just for aesthetic. Well, I can't even say the word for niceties. Make it look pretty. Alright, this is common events. So at the moment, we have a child being born and someone become an adult, being a labourer. If you don't have a school, people I think come of age at about 10 years old, 8 years old. So yeah, school does make them more productive though, so it's probably worth getting a school later on. Up here, it toggles what you want shown, so that's death and plague, fire, nomads. Nomads come in useful when you get the town centre, which I will show you now. There we go, town centre. It's very impressive compared to the other buildings. Requires a lot more resource as well. 124 stone, which seems we have, I think, about 20 at the moment. We're not going to build it. Well, we could do and put it on pause. Yeah. I'll do it in a minute. Right, so foundations there, shows being built. Wooden house. As you can see, there was no one working on that, but they still managed to do it. Increase the builders. Lots of building to do. So there is logs down, but no builders on there. Limited to one builder each. They usually get built slightly quicker. So yeah. So there'll be one builder on all three houses now. That person's full. Idling, Karen Nandi. We'll follow her around. She's not very interesting. Boring child. Is there anyone else? Any more interesting people? Let's click on this person. Oh, go away, Karen Candy. Rankez, another child. We'll follow her. She's gathering up resources. Mandalia. I don't know where she's gone. We'll just leave her. Right, so we are getting there in terms of the actual town itself. I mean, yeah, it's going quite well. In terms of this series, I'll probably do a number of videos covering on this particular village. I'm just showing you the storage areas. The storage ones where food is stored and clothes and items. There's the blacksmith where tools are made, tailor where clothes are made. But yeah, anyway, just ignore my clicking for a moment. I'll produce a number of different videos throughout the series. Most of them will be produced on this I can't talk today. Most of the videos will be on this particular village that I'm making. Although later on I will show you how to do a hard video, not a hard game play, because it is quite tricky to start off with. Because you start off with no farms, nothing, and although my setup is pretty much what you need to do, especially if you're doing a harsh climate on a small map, on hard, it is quite tricky to get started. We'll finish off this path just to make it look like. A couple more houses. The more houses you have, the faster the population, or the bigger the population, and generally faster people seem to have children. So we'll add a few. I mean, we've got quite a lot to build, so we'll keep it at a few houses for now. Increase the priority so they build the houses, because we don't want winter coming and people homeless. We still got a number of people homeless at the moment, so we don't want that. and I think I'll leave it at that for this video. I'll come back when I've finished kind of building everything, or at least building some things anyway, getting started. So thank you for watching, and I will hopefully post a video weekly, but I will see you next time.